So, Maimonides points out in his Codex of Religion, Mishneh Torah, or second teaching of the Torah, the law, the way, the following realization: righteous and pious of all nations have a portion in the world to come. Those who are counted to the pious of all nations are those who follow the 7 Noahide laws. Thus, those who don't murder, don't commit idolatry, don't commit sexual immorality, don't steal, and don't blaspheme. And those that practice righteousness and refrain from cruelty toward animals, right? The 7 Noahide laws are the ticket to eternal paradise, the Garden of Eden, the world to come, for all of the pious and righteous of all nations. And also, Simon the righteous said in the second Mishnah, he said, the world was created for the Torah, God's law, avodah tov, or good service to God, and for hesed, or loving kindness, to be practiced. Also, the words great reward must be explained. Rabbi Lehman said, only he who works for the greatest good can accomplish the greatest good. He who teaches the great masses and leads them to the virtues, right? He that provides for the spiritual and physical well-being of thousands, this person will have all his good deeds of the thousands as merit, as if he had fulfilled all of these good deeds of the thousands himself. His reward is eternal. Also, there's a commentary on the saying, be of the students of Aharon. Hillel tells us, be of the students of Aharon. Learn from the first high priest of Israel to love peace. If peace is disturbed, seek peace, and you will find it. Do not give up, for in the end you will reestablish the peace. In order to reestablish a disturbed peace, it is necessary to have the purest and most refined philanthropy or love for humanity, and not love that stems from selfish motives. He who researches, or if one researches, one will find that the love between friends, the love between children and their parents, and parents and their children, and grandparents, is not always free from selfish motives. Even love to God has causes with most people that have to do with their need for goodness and like certainty. Our love to our Father in heaven should be not free of fear of punishment, In other words, our love to our Father in heaven should not be free of fear of punishment, and it should be marked by a hope for a good reward. It should be a love of thankfulness and awe. This pure God's love, or this pure love of God, will then also expand itself to all creatures, to all of God's creatures, because they all are the work of his hands. So we will not be able to harm any person, and every joy of humanity, we will have a part in it. And every human suffering will evoke empathy in our hearts and motivate us to end human suffering. Love the creatures, love humanity, because they are all God's creatures. The greatest love that we can show to human beings is that we bring them closer to God's law, Torah, his way, and bring them under the wings of the divine majesty of majesties, even. Okay, we're in a very good part here. He who does not teach is worthy of death. The duty of a Yehudi, or a Jew, is rooted in God's teaching. It is that gives our life true value. He who occupies himself therewith. He who does not occupy himself therewith is spiritually annihilating himself. All the problems of our modern time, the falling away from the positive values of Judaism and the attitude of irrelevance toward the holy faith of our fathers, they are the result of neglecting Torah study. Okay, again, this is such an important thing here. Okay, so it says, as a commentary to the saying, he who does not teach is worthy of death. The duties of a Yehudi, a Jew, are rooted in God's teaching. It is God's teaching that gives our life true value. He who does not occupy himself with God's teaching spiritually annihilates himself. All the problems of our modern day and age, the falling away from the positive values of Judaism and the attitude of irrelevance toward the holy faith of our fathers, they are the result of the neglect of Torah study. Another very important point here. It is taught that without law, civilization would end. The stronger one would gain the upper hand, and everybody would take with violence what is not rightfully theirs. Therefore, it is taught that every judge who judges according to true law is like a partner of God in creation. Another very important point here is that as the Master says, he who multiplies Torah, or God's law, multiplies life. Through the study of Torah, law, God's law and instruction, one wins life in this world and in the world to come. Another thing, there's a comment here on Rabbi Jose, the priest. The priest is a very good pious one. All right, so Rabbi Jose, the priest, is an excellent pious one, or like a one who fears God. Who earns the honorable title of a Hasid? It is he who is constantly occupied to do more than duty requires him, and who steadily advances in the sanctification of his life, and who increasingly attains knowledge of God, and who is selfless, and who does not expect thanks or reward, and who seeks to practice goodness or hesed, loving kindness, to all human beings. It is said that the world rests upon three things: the law, God's law, way, instruction, or Torah, and avoda, or service of God, or actually avoda tov, good service, right, that God commands, and acts of loving kindness, or gimelot hasidim.